It's Wednesday, February 5th, 2014. And Philip Seymour Hoffman has been in the news recently about how he had recently died of a drug overdose, apparent drug overdose. And now he had about 70 bags of heroin in his apartment. And yesterday I was looking online the Wikipedia article about him. And it talked about the fact that he apparently has a partner, maybe a kind of a de facto wife, common law wife situation, and 3 kids. And so, in situations like this, it's useful to conduct a thought experiment. What if the guy hadn't received several awards for his acting performances? What if he was just some guy, or what if he was even a woman with 3 kids and 70 bags of heroin in his apartment and died of a drug overdose? What would be the reasonable judgment of society regarding such a person, man or woman? And the most people would, I think, reasonably state, okay, this person was acting incredibly irresponsibly. A druggie who died of an overdose and who betrayed his own children and his common law wife. I guess common law, unless I'm mistaken, but that's from what I understood. Anyway, his partner betrayed his children and his partner and his friends, but most importantly his own family, betrayed him by being a stupid druggie. Okay? And the main problem with marijuana and with heroin, and even with nicotine, is that cigarettes, is that they hijack your built-in brain reward system. Kind of the built-in reward system that kind of was put there through evolution by natural selection. Okay, there's a reason we got the reward circuitry in there, but if you it's kind of like being on a boat and putting it in overdrive for too much. You might blow out the motor. The same thing with your brain, you know. If you put your reward circuitry into overdrive too much, you're going to blow something out, or you're going to change how the whole system works. You might end up being, let's see, more paranoid, more depressed, all sorts of things. So that's one big argument against legalization of all these things, is how they damage people's ability to be smart. Someone smokes a lot of hemp, a lot of marijuana, you'll end up just kind of see what they're like, how quick their responses are to things. They dumb themselves down. And this claim that whatever you do in the privacy of your home hurts no one else, that's also bullshit. I mean, plus if you have kids, you're not just hurting yourself. It takes a village, right? Didn't Hillary Clinton say that? Well, if it takes a village, what if you're stuck in your house, in your basement, doing drugs all the time, stuck away? Oh, it takes a village. Yeah, it takes a village of people who are productive. So that's a pretty good argument against legalization. And maybe we can have a different type of legalization of illegal status where we don't put people away for years and years. We have kind of, rehabilitation and treatment, mandatory rehabilitation, mandatory treatment, mandatory controlled monitoring of drugs that can help you kind of taper down, like methadone and stuff like that. So I can agree that you have to be not just lock people away for 30 years, especially if it's going to mean breaking up your family, but you need to have mandatory treatment instead, Okay. So Philip Seymour Hoffman was a druggie. And I think that maybe he was more like Truman Capote, who died of liver cancer, probably aggravated by all the drugs he had and alcohol. And oh, he was just a great artist. Well, who cares? That's not the most important thing in his life. So what? All his movies that he acted in could just cease to exist for all I care, compared to how he betrayed his own family through his drug abuse. What's another example? Oh, Roman Polanski, child abuser. Maybe Woody Allen. There's some debate about that, but in any case, just because someone is a great artiste does not excuse them from their responsibility to be a good father or a good mother or a good parent, and someone who doesn't waste their life away by taking things that hijack their built-in reward circuitry. Okay? So where does this put me on the liberal or conservative line? You tell me. So anyway, Philip Seymour Hoffman, he's actually pretty close to my same age. It made me think, gotta be careful myself. Don't screw up your life by having just full-fat yogurt all the time or ice cream. You gotta have more healthy snacks. That's what I took away from it. I'm going back to the healthy snacks now, okay? It's healthy snack time because some guy who was close to my same age died of a drug overdose and has 70 packs of heroin in his house. Let's see, what have I got in my house? I've got right now some dates and some nuts, date fruit and some raisins, and some nice homemade cookies that my wife made of whole wheat flour and with wheat bran and sucralose, splendid type stuff, and little chocolate chips, dark chocolate, and also made with yogurt, fat-free yogurt instead of eggs. Fat-free yogurt works good as a substitute for eggs, by the way, just to let you know. Anyway, so I don't think being a great artiste excuses you from your responsibilities as a normal person. I don't think you can it's reasonable to separate out those two things, you know. It should come first. And if you're a kind of a crappy person in the first instance, then who cares whatever stuff you do? Oh, you drew a pretty picture. Oh, you were a good actor. Who cares? Who cares? Oh, we liked his performance of Truman Capote. Oh dear. His performance of Truman Capote was the most excellent ever. Oh, the loss of Philip Seymour Hoffman, because it will be a great loss to acting. Yeah, well, it'd also be a great loss to his 3 kids, huh? What about that? That's the most important thing, bitch. So, that's my opinion about the death of Philip Seymour Hoffman and about related people like Roman Polanski, child abuser. Okay, and related people. Okay, so have fun. Don't screw up your built-in reward circuitry with your brain by taking extra stuff. So, you can have sex. That's no problem. You can love your family. You can love your wife. You can have good food. Just don't go overboard with the food thing, but you can still have some tasty food. But don't take extra chemicals. Just because something is natural doesn't mean it doesn't have a chemical in it that can fuck up your brain. Okay? This differentiating between natural and unnatural is also bogus. Chemicals are chemicals. Whether they're natural or man-made, they can still screw up your brain. Okay, have fun.